The Pentagon's Defense Intelligence Agency believes that the recent successes of the armed forces of Ukraine suggest a realistic possibility of a breakthrough in the rest of the Russian defense lines by the end of the year, although it would be extremely difficult. After 3 months of slow progress, the Ukrainian counteroffensive is gaining momentum. Had we had this conversation 2 weeks ago, I would have been slightly more pessimistic. Their breakthrough on that second defensive belt is actually pretty considerable, Trent Mall says. The DIA will monitor for signs that Russia may continue to supply artillery munitions to the front line and maintain leadership at the local level, Mall said. Mall admits that American and Ukrainian officials failed to assess the depth of Russian defenses and how difficult it would be for Ukraine to break through them with armored vehicles. Ukrainian generals told The Guardian that 80% of Russia's efforts aim to build the first and second lines of defense. But Mall warns that a significant part of Russian reinforcements remains on the third line. Mall says 2 critical variables are extremely important: Ukraine's ammunition supply, vital to support the artillery that ensures the advance, and the weather in the fall. One of the officials of the Biden administration says that Ukraine has about 6 to 7 weeks of fighting left before the culmination of the offensive. Mall is somewhat less gloomy. Mall said that Sergei Surovikin, the Russian general who built the defense lines, and Yevgeny Prigozhin, whose Wagner mercenaries have achieved Russia's most tangible successes in the past year, are both out of action, the former fired, and the latter killed in a plane crash. Mall also says that Ukraine's recent successes are significant and give its forces a realistic opportunity, in intelligence terms with a 40-50% probability to break through the remaining Russian lines by the end of the year. But he warned that limited ammunition and deteriorating weather would make it very difficult. At the same time, the attention of the U.S. intelligence community is already shifting to the next combat season. Even without a breakthrough this year, the DIA believes that if Ukraine can expand the salient around Robotyne, hold its ground, and secure ammunition supplies, it will be well prepared for another breakthrough in 2024.
Заряжай.
Two high-ranking Russian military officers responsible for Moscow's air defense have been charged with bribery. State news agency TASS and Russian newspaper Kommersant reported on Thursday. Major General Konstantin Ogienko was arrested in July on suspicion of soliciting 500,000 rubles, 4,800 euros, from the manager of a charity for signing a plot of land near Moscow, controlled by the Defense Ministry, over to her, according to TASS. The bribe allegedly paid to Ogienko was just a small portion of a much larger one totaling 30 million rubles, 285,000 euros, TASS reported, adding that Ogienko had pleaded not guilty to the charges and refused to testify. The investigation first detained a colleague of Ogienko's, General Dmitry Belyatsky, who pleaded guilty and agreed to provide testimony against Ogienko as part of a plea deal, according to TASS. Belyatsky has reportedly been placed under house arrest, while Ogienko is in pre-trial detention. The case has prompted the Defense Ministry to launch an internal audit of land plots assigned to the Air Defense Forces in an attempt to uncover any more potential corruption. Ukraine's armed forces have just taken delivery of one of the more unusual donations to date: 3 purple bendy buses from a UK airport. Luton Airport is an international airport located 45 kilometers north of central London. Until recently, these purple buses ferried holidaymakers and their luggage to and from the airport to the mainline Luton Parkway train station. In March, the buses were replaced by a direct air rail transit monorail, and the buses faced being sold off or scrapped. Instead, the owners, the Go Ahead Bus Group, decided to donate 3 of the 16.5-meter single-decker buses to the Swindon Humanitarian Aid Partnership. A spokesperson for Go Ahead said, "These vehicles have done years of duty shuttling holidaymakers and suitcases. They're now retired from airport duty, and we're glad they can be put to good use as a small contribution to Ukraine's war effort." SHAP, which is Wiltshire-based, was set up shortly after the start of Russia's full-scale invasion to provide humanitarian support to Ukraine. having transferred over 1,300 tons of aid to eastern Ukraine since the start of the conflict. In May, the group converted a bus, donated by Swindon's bus company, into a mobile medical unit complete with beds, stretcher, heart monitor, running water, electricity, etc. Luton's local news site, Bedfordshire Live, reports that the purple buses have been fitted with shower and toilet facilities, with 2 of them intended for use as rest areas for soldiers in eastern Ukraine, and to transport supplies for frontline troops. The other is likely to be made into a mobile exhibition to showcase the devastation in Ukraine caused by Russia's invasion. The buses were driven from Swindon to Calais via Dover by SHAP volunteers, before being handed over to a Ukrainian team for the long drive across Europe. The chairman of SHAP, Mike Bowden, a retired corporate lawyer, said that originally the intention had been to repaint the buses white and mark them with red crosses on the roof. They were persuaded not to because, as Mike explained, "We have been specially asked not to repaint them so they look as close to public service buses as possible from the air and don't stand out. This is because Russian forces are deliberately targeting hospitals and emergency workers." Inspired by the success of their bus-based initiatives, SHAP is looking for more buses and has begun fundraising in case there are no more donations available. It will be interesting to see what Ukrainians make of a Luton Airport bus passing them in the street. And again about the archetype of Russians, a washing machine. A Russian man is proud of his washing machine, which he thinks is much better than the Korean one.
Насыпаем дорогостоящий порошок. Кипятим бак горячей воды и затариваем кипятка в бак. Наливаем по мере необходимости до контрольной отметки. Закладываем необходимое количество белья до 2 килограммов в сухом виде. Заводим таймер на 25 минут. Адское советское месиво начало кружить это белье. А вы говорите, только в СССР галоши делали. Вот сколько работает машинка на морозе, на холоде. И до сих пор крутит. Ни движки не сломались, ничего. Кстати говоря, у меня дома машинка была Samsung с инверторным двигателем. Гарантия 10 лет. Навернулась через 1,5 года эксплуатации. Так что пусть корейцы посмотрят, какие лапти делали.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.